You don't have to wake up. I should move that before they accuse me of advertising. Because you know that's what they're gonna do. That is what they will do. It's true. It is true. You can't put anything on the screen or they think it's an ad, even if it's not. Because it's very not. Good morning, Ray. I just happen to use collagen peptides in my coffee every morning. I don't make any money from it. I lose money from it. But I use it because, I don't know, I heard it was good for my hair, skin, and nails. Someone is already napping, yes. She's been up a long time, so she needed a nap. But you can't even let it accidentally show. No, there's no ad. You can't even let it accidentally show on the screen or they accuse you of that. But I'm like, it's not. I'm just literally using it in my life. Like, am I not allowed to use products in my own life? I don't know. Good morning, Jamie. What is in here? Okay, thank you. That was just about enough from them, right? Okay, let's make coffee for mommy and daddy because we are sleepy. Sleepy mommy and daddy. Baby gets to sleep, but we don't. Sasha existing on TikTok. Yeah, literally. All I do is just live, and TikTok's like, no, don't do that. I got a video taken down today. You ready for this? Yeah. Oh, Patreon hasn't updated. Oh, maybe it will. The video that got taken down was the one of me, someone saying, is that baby real? And me saying, what an odd thing to say. And they said the reason it was taken down was for lack of original content. And I'm like, someone asked me if my baby was human or a doll. I said human, and that's not original content. She's original content because I made her. Like, they're doing wackadoodle things. By the way, I love the TikTok ads things. It's so weird. Yeah, they just are like doing it. I don't know, Amanda. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. But I think me talking about my daughter is not original content. But the thing is, I'm pretty much the only one who does it because she's mine. Even if other people talk about their daughters, that's still not the same. Morning, Christina. They're just, venting about TikTok and their literal insanity. Anyway, how are you all? How was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? It's crazy. They filtered my friend for saying hi. Yeah, and you're like, but that's literally the nickname I've chosen. We gotta fight today. Christina, they think me talking about my daughter not being a doll is not original content. So they took the video down. Because someone asked if she was a baby doll, and I said, no, she's a human. And they didn't like that. I think it's weird that that's a problem. I think it's weird. Not gonna lie. I think it's strange that the violation that I got was, this is not original content. That's literally what it says. I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. Because it is. I dodged my weekend adult chores for the pool. I like that. How dare you? I know, right? Yeah, I can't go against the robot conspiracies. That's probably what it really is. I want to go to the pool. I know, it's not my fault. People keep asking. My literal baby is not original. I know, right? She's the most original content. I made her from scratch. My Sunday was good, Isabella. How was yours? Honestly, I'm just on typical. Me too. Avery, at this point, I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. I was in bed all weekend and abdominal pain is not good. Is it better now, though? Truly, what do I know, right? She's from scratch, one of a kind. Like, I don't know. You got your hair cut? Yay! Oh, that's exciting. I would love to have a haircut, a hair dye, the whole thing. If Ryan would just come into town, I tell you what, I would have all new hair. All new hair. You are so sleepy, huh? Yeah. Such a sleepy girl. Making slime with the borax isn't borax. Oh, what is it? I'm intrigued. I mean, like, it's not activated. Oh, what ratio did you use? How much powder did you use to the water? You sound like my husband, Isabella. He also thinks they suit me. Slime just got delivered. Gonna go to the mailbox with you. Yes! We love a mail day. We love a mail day. I added 1 teaspoon of borax and 3 teaspoons of water. That's why. Oh, 3 teaspoons of water? Oh, wait a second. May I ask why? It should be 1 teaspoon of water to 1 cup. 1 cup of water to 1 teaspoon of borax, but 1 teaspoon of borax to 3 teaspoons of water should be over-activating, not activating. What kind of borax, are we talking here? Well, Ryan needs to make a trip then. I know it's not easy. Ryan does need to make a trip then. Here's the great thing about Ryan. Ryan usually comes to Los Angeles for Pride in June, and it's almost Pride, and it's almost June. So I am just hoping that Ryan gets sent out here for work. Everybody uses that borax. I'm so sorry, honey. I don't know what that means. There's a bunch of different brands of borax. Can you tell me which one you have? Someone named Rotella Mustafa really wants to join my live, and I don't. Oh, contact solution. Yeah, that's a great question, Amanda. Are you talking about contact solution versus borax? It's a great question. I didn't even think of that. Look at Amanda doing, like, deductive reasoning. It's a great thought. Because 1 teaspoon of borax to 3 teaspoons of water should definitely activate. Overactivate, really. We are so sleepy. So sleepy. Your brain, the detective. Yes. Wait, does contact solution work as activator? It does if you mix it with baking soda, but not on its own. And it has to be a contact solution that has boric acid in it. It can't just be any old contact solution. It has to have boric acid, and you have to mix it with baking soda. I am as well, Susan. I am as well. I feel that when you said that, I felt it deep in my bones. You know how sometimes, tell me if you resonate with this. You know how sometimes when you can also just tell us what kind of borax you have, Yasmin, and I can try to help you. When someone says something and you feel it so deeply that it like buzzes in your like spine and your bones and all that. When Susan said I'm so sleepy, I felt it in my soul. This Monday is so Mondaying. Baby girl decided to get up at 6 this morning, and I changed her diaper and I fed her, and then I thought to myself, what if instead of like getting up and going into the living room to play right now, what if I just sit back down in bed, like I propped up a bunch of pillows to lay down, and I let her sleep on my chest, and I probably wouldn't get any sleep, but then at least I'd be getting rest because I would be like laying in bed, sort of like laying up in a way. She said no, all I want is to go play. So we laid in bed for 30 seconds, and then we got up and went to play. So much for that. Big audit. Oh no, that sounds terrible. Morning, Anya. Anya, when's your trip? Oh my God, this is so good. Have any of you tried the new strawberries and cream pod from Nespresso? You wouldn't think it would make a good coffee, but let me tell you, it does. It really does. Oh, I'm ruining things. Oh God, save me. Hold on. Oh, okay, we did it. Wednesday at 5. You have to order. Yeah. I would get it ASAP, Susan, because it's a limited edition one. It's so good, right, Christina? Oh my gosh. Like, I did not think it was gonna be that kind of delicious. I thought it might be like, okay, let me tell you the reason why we took the leap on the strawberry is because one time we were at the store and we tasted their raspberry flavor, and the raspberry flavor was so good. So we got a couple sleeves, and then when we went back to the store next time, they were sold out at the store, online, everywhere. And we were like, how are we ever going to get this? Because it was like the best coffee we'd ever had in our lives. And we were like, well, now what are we going to do? And they've never brought it back. And that was over a year ago. So when they made this strawberry flavor, I was like, maybe it'll be almost as good as the raspberry. And it's true. It's almost as good as the raspberry. Especially if you put a little bit of creamer in it. Pretty banging. Why do they do that, Avery? Why do they do that? It's like they don't want our money. Like, I'm literally like, I will throw my money at you to buy this coffee, and you don't want me to have it. I don't understand. Like, I literally don't know why they want to keep good coffee from us. It's really cruel. It feels kind of pointed, if I'm being honest. You know? Like, why? Why do they gotta do that? I don't know. Anyway, try the strawberry. That's all I'm gonna say. Try the strawberry. What do we think? What do you think my hair's doing up here? Yes, Anya's going on a trip, and I can't wait to see the pictures because she's going to all places that I have never. Susan, we'll have to follow your photos as well. You guys are going to places I've never been before, and you know I like to see photos. So, yeah, I would have gotten more, Avery. We probably would have added it to our monthly order. Think about that. That's a lot of money for them. Guys, we go through a lot of coffee in this house. Not meaning you should drink it. Can you recap the last part of the book from Saturday? I had to leave early. Yes. Let me actually refresh my own memory. Okay, so yeah, they figured out that the arena is a clock, and that every hour something different is happening around the arena. They don't know what in all of the pieces, but they know, I think, 4 or 5 of the pieces. And then at the very end of the chapter, they're like chugging along, trying to get through it all. And all of a sudden, Katniss hears Prim, her sister. But that's all we know. We haven't seen Prim. She just heard her, and then the chapter ends. So yeah, we're on chapter 24, guys. We're almost done. We're definitely going to be moving on to the next book this week. Like, if not in like a day or two. Yeah. Yeah, we're real close. Let me refresh my memory. Okay, so, yeah. Didn't someone? I believe Wyrus kicked the bucket, Avery. Yeah. And the game makers spun everything to throw them up. That's right. So they figured out that it was a clock, but they were using the sun to tell what was what time. But the game makers spun the arena so the sun is in a different position, which is not great and not helpful. I just finished the last book, starting Songbirds and Snakes, and ooh, very exciting. You're way ahead of us, though. We're only on book 2 in our reread. Although I do love Songbirds and Snakes. It was great. I read that during the pandemic, and phenomenal. You're a day behind. Yeah, so Cindy, basically what I just said is the kick the bucket is such an obvious. I know it is, but like, you know why I say it, right, Jackie? Because I'm afraid that they're gonna like kick me in the bucket if I say the other word. You know what I want you to ask your kids for their reading their reading question today? Ask them what they think the etymology of kick the bucket is. Maybe they can do some research on that for us. Tell them to research the etymology of kick the bucket. Yeah. I finished already and was up till 2 a.m. finishing my, oh, it's amazing. It's so amazing. Are you going to read song? Yeah, I figured we would do all of it, right, Brittany? I mean, I figured we would just do all 5. At this point, we're going through them so quickly. Why not, right? Is it weird that I'm just giving Jack's kids assignments? I'm not their teacher. I'm not their mother, but I just keep assigning them questions. I just figured we would, yeah. And then I have 2 nonfiction books picked out for us after we do the 5, which is kind of like cool and different, because we usually read at least
a nonfiction book every couple of books, but I have 2 that I think are going to be good. Oh, that'll be amazing for you, Cindy. You're going to love it. And then we'll go back to the Princess Diaries. That feels good, right? I don't know. That just felt correct. Didn't they ask for it when Sasha homeschooled? Yeah, no, they did. I'm totally kidding. They did ask for Sasha homeschooling. Yes. I would have a lot of fun being a homeschool teacher. Yeah, I would. Actually, I mean, just to teach. I don't know why I said homeschool teacher, as if that makes any sense, because they're not my children, so it's not my home. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what? Just ignore me. Let's go ahead and read instead. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Book Club. We are at page 340, but the font makes it look like 348. Not cute. But yes, slime making for chemistry class. And then it is chapter 24. Here we go. Where is she? And what are they doing to her? Prim, I cry out. Prim! Only another agonizing scream answers me. How did she get here? Why is she a part of the games? That was the first sentence, Amber, so we're just starting. Hey, Liz, same answer to Liz. We literally read one sentence. Could we read the words we keep next? So we actually have, so just before I keep going and start, Roxy, what we have is this book. We have Mockingjay. We have Songbirds and Snakes. We have Sunrise on the Reaping. No, she's been sleeping since before book club started, so I marked it before he started, but thank you, Livs. And then we have 2 nonfiction books that we're reading, and then we're going to read another Princess Diaries, and then we can pick new books. But we've got a lot on our TBR right now. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get through all of that, but that doesn't mean we can't keep adding books to our list. I haven't read the books after Mockingjay. Yeah, exactly. Most people haven't, which is why I think it's important that we do the whole series. Well, not after Mockingjay. So after Mockingjay, there's Songbirds and Snakes, and then, what do you call it? And then Sunrise on the Reaping, and then we're going to read Josh Gad's memoir, because we all agreed we wanted to read Josh Gad's memoir, and then I picked another nonfiction book I'm going to pitch to you guys, and then we have to go back, finish the Princess Diaries, and then after that we can add new stuff. Yeah, well, you can read along, obviously, Susan. It'll be great. But let's go back. I'm going to go ahead and start this over again because some people just joined, and I only read one sentence anyway, so we might as well go back. So, page 340. Where is she, and what are they doing to her? Prim, I cry out. Prim! Only another agonized scream answers me. How did she get here? Why is she a part of the games? Prim! Vines cut into my face and arms, creepers grab my feet, but I'm getting closer to her, closer, very close now. Sweat pours down my face, stinging the healing acid wounds. I pant, trying to get some use out of the warm, moist air that seems empty of oxygen. Prim makes a sound, such a lost, irretrievable sound that I can't even imagine what they've done to evoke it. Oh, Roxy, don't cry. It's not personal. We just had those books picked out before you even asked. It's not that we're not wanting to read something that you picked, but we had already picked out all of these books before you suggested that one. So we have to just wait until we finish this, and then we can add new stuff after. Prim! I rip through the wall of a green into a small clearing, and the sound repeats directly above me. Above me? My head whips back. Do they have her up in the trees? I desperately search the branches, but I see nothing. Prim, I say pleadingly, and I can hear her, but I can't see her. Her next wail rings out clear as a bell. There's no mistaking the source. It's coming from the mouth of a small, crested blackbird perched on a branch about 10 feet above my head. And then I understand. It's a jabberjay. I've never seen one before. I thought they no longer existed, and for a moment, as I lean against the trunk of the tree, clutching the stitch in my side, I examine it. The mutation, the forerunner, the father. I pull up a mental image of a mockingbird and fuse it with the jabberjay, and yes, now I can see how they mated to make the mockingjay. There's nothing about these birds that suggests a mutt, nothing except the horribly lifelike sound of Prim's voice screaming through its mouth. I silence it with an arrow through its throat. The bird falls to the ground. I remove my arrow and wring its neck for good measure, and then I hurl the revolting thing into the jungle. No degree of hunger would ever tempt me to eat that. It wasn't real, I tell myself, the same way the mutation wolves last year weren't really the dead tributes. It's just the sadistic tricks of the game makers. Finnick crashes into the clearing, finding me wiping the arrow clean with some moss. Katniss? It's okay. I'm okay, I say, although I don't feel okay at all. I thought I heard my sister, but the piercing shriek cuts me off. It's another voice, but it's not Prim's this time. Maybe a young woman's, but I don't recognize it. Still, the effect on Finnick is instantaneous. The color vanishes from his face, and I can actually see his pupils dilate in fear. No, Finnick, wait, I say, reaching to reassure him, but he's bolted away. He's gone off in pursuit of the victim, as mindlessly as I pursued Prim. Finnick, I call, but I know he won't turn back and wait for me to give him a rational explanation, so all I can do is follow him. It's no effort to track him, even though he's moving so fast, since he leaves a clear, trampled path in his wake. But the bird is at least a quarter-mile away, and most of it is uphill. Hi. You can stay asleep, sweetheart. You don't have to wake up. No. You can stay asleep. Yeah. Just sleepy girl. Yeah. Okay. By the time I reach him, I'm winded. He's circling around a giant tree. The trunk must be 4 feet in diameter, and the limbs, I don't even know, must be 20 feet up. The woman's shrieks emanate from somewhere in the foliage, but the Jabberjay is concealed, and Finnick is screaming as well, over and over again. Annie? Annie! He's in a state of panic, completely unreachable, so I do what I would do anyway, and I scale the adjacent tree, locate the Jabberjay, and take it out with an arrow. It falls straight down, landing at Finnick's feet. He picks it up, slowly making the connection, but when I slide down to join him, he looks more despairing than ever. It's all right, Finnick. It's just a Jabberjay. They're just playing tricks on us. I say, it's not real, and it's not your... Annie? No, it's not Annie, but the voice was hers. Jabberjays mimic what they hear. Where did they get those screams, Katniss? He says, and I can feel my cheeks grow pale as I understand his meaning. Oh, Finnick, you don't think that they... Yeah, I do. That's exactly what I think, he says, and I have an image of Prim in a white room, strapped to a table while masked and robed figures elicit those sounds from her. Somewhere they're torturing her, or they did torture her at least, to get those sounds. And my knees turn to water and I sink to the ground. Finnick is trying to tell me something, but I can't hear him. What I do finally hear is another bird starting off somewhere to my left, and this time it's the voice of Gale. Finnick catches my arm before I could run. No, it's not him. And he starts pulling me downhill toward the beach. We're gonna get out of here. But Gale's voice is so full of pain that I can't help struggling to reach it. It's not him, Katniss. It's a mutt. Finnick shouts at me. Come on. He moves along, half dragging, half carrying me, until I can process what he said. And he's right. It's just another Jabberjay. I can't help Gale by chasing it down. But what doesn't change is the fact that Gale's voice, and somewhere, sometime, someone has made him feel like that sound. I stop fighting Finnick, though, and like the night in the fog, I flee what I can't fight. What can only do me harm. What I can't fight and what can only do me harm. Only this time it's my heart and not my body that is disintegrating. This must be another weapon of the clock. 4 o'clock, I guess. And when the hands tick-tock onto the 4, the monkeys go home and the Jabberjays come out to play. Finnick is right. Getting out of here is the only thing to do, although there will be nothing Hamish can send in a parachute that will help either Finnick or me recover from the wounds that the birds have inflicted. I catch sight of Peeta and Joanna standing in the tree line, and I'm filled with a mixture of relief and anger. Why didn't Peeta come to help me? And why did no one come after us? And even now, as he hangs back, he raises his hand, palms towards us, lips moving, but no words reaching us. Why? Oh, is my video choppy for you guys? It just gave me an alert that said if your video's choppy, try restarting the live. Is the video choppy? Or are they just saying that to throw me off? That was a weird alert. Okay. Bizarre. Okay, it's good for all of you. I don't know why they did that then. Thanks for nothing, TikTok. The wall is so transparent that Finnick and I run smack into it and bounce back onto the jungle floor. I'm lucky. My shoulder took the worst of the impact, whereas Finnick hits face first, and now his nose is gushing blood. This is why Peeta and Joanna and even Beatty, who I see sadly shaking his head behind them, have not come to our aid. There's an invisible barrier that blocks the area in front of us. It's not a force field. You can touch the hard, smooth surface all you like, but Peeta's knife and Joanna's axe can't even make a dent in it. I know, without checking, that more than a few feet to one side that enclose the entire 4 to 5 o'clock wedge, we're going to be trapped like rats until the hours pass. Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, what Naisa said is so true. They say nothing to me when it's actually choppy, but when it is, they're like, hey, just in case. And I'm like, meh. Peeta presses his hands against the hard surface, and I pull my own up to meet it as if I can feel him through the wall. I see his lips moving, but I can't hear him. I can't hear anything outside of our own wedge. I try to make out what he's saying, but I can't focus, so I just stare at his face, doing my best to hang on to my sanity. And then the birds begin to arrive, one by one, perching in the surrounding branches, and a carefully orchestrated chorus of horrors begins to spill out of their mouths. Finnick gives up at once, hunching on the ground, clenching his hands over his ears as if he's trying to crush his own skull, and I try to fight for a while, emptying my quiver of arrows into the hated birds, but every time one drops, another quickly takes its place. And finally, I give up and curl up beside Finnick, trying to block out the excruciating sounds of Prim, Gale, my mother, Mage, Rory, Vic, and even Posy. Helpless little Posy. I know it stopped when I feel Peeta's hands on me, and I feel myself lifted from the ground and out of the jungle, but I stay eyes squeezed shut, hands over my ears, muscles too rigid to release. Peeta holds me on his lap, speaking smoothing words, rocking me gently. It takes a long time before I begin to relax the iron grip on my body, and when I do, the trembling begins. Hey, no, it's all right, Katniss, he whispers. You didn't hear them, I answer. I heard Prim right in the beginning, but it wasn't her, he says. It was a Jabberjay. It was her. Somewhere. The Jabberjay just recorded it, I say. No, that's what they want you to think. The same way I wondered if Glimmer's eyes in the mutts were actually her eyes, but those weren't Glimmer's eyes, and it wasn't Prim's voice. Or if it was, they took it from an interview or something and they distorted the sound. They made it say whatever she was saying, he says. No, they were torturing her, I answer. She's probably dead. Katniss, no, Prim isn't dead. How could they kill Prim? We're almost down to the final 8 of us, and then what happens? Peeta says, 7 more of us die. I say hopelessly, no, back home. What happens when they reach the final 8 tributes in the games? He lifts my chin so that I have to look at him. He forces me to make eye contact. What happens at the final 8? I know he's trying to help me, so I make myself think. At the final 8? I repeat, they interview your friends and family back home. That's right, says Peeta. They interview your family and friends, and they can't do that if they've ended them all. Can they? No, I ask, still unsure. No, and that's how we know that Prim is still alive. She'll be the first one they ask to interview, won't she? He asks. I want to believe him, badly. It's just those voices. First Prim, then your mother, then your cousin Gale, Mage. He continues, it was just a trick, Katniss, a horrible one, but we're the only ones who can be hurt by it. We're the ones in the games, not them. Do you really believe that? I say. I really do, says Peeta, and I waver, thinking of how Peeta can make anyone believe anything, and I look over at Finnick for confirmation, see that he's fixed on Peeta and his words. Do you believe it, Finnick? I ask. I mean, it could be true. I don't know, he says. Could they do that, Beatty? Take someone's regular voice and make it like, yeah, no, of course, Peeta's right. The whole country adores Katniss's little sister. If they killed her like this, then they'd probably have an uprising on their hands. Oops, sorry, that was the wrong voice. That was supposed to be Joanna, but just pretend I read that in a female voice. Says Joanna flatly. Don't want that, do they? She throws back her head and shouts, whole country in rebellion? Wouldn't want anything like that, would you? My mouth drops open in shock. No one ever says anything like this in the games. Absolutely, they've cut away from Joanna now and they have to be editing her out. But I have heard her, and I can never think about her the same way again. She'll never win an award for kindness, but she certainly is gutsy. Or maybe she's crazy. She picks up some shells and she heads towards the jungle. I'm getting water, she says. I can't help catching her hand as she passes me. Don't go in there. The birds. I remember the birds must be gone, but I still don't want anyone in there, not even Joanna. They can't hurt me, not like the rest of you. There's no one left that I love, Joanna says, and she frees her hand with an impatient shake, and when she brings me back a shell of water, I take it with a silent nod of thanks, knowing how much she would despise pity in my voice. While Joanna collects water and my arrows, Beatty fiddles with his wire and Finnick takes the water. I need to clean up too, but I stay in Peta's arms, still too shaken to move. Who'd they use against Finnick? He asks. Somebody named Annie, I say. Must be Annie Cresta, he says. Who? Oh, honey, are you okay? You want out? You want up on mommy's shoulder? Okay, come here. Come here. You're okay. You're okay. There you go. You're out. You're out. Yeah, you're out. You're okay. It must be Annie Cresta, he says. Who? I ask. Annie Cresta. She was the girl Mags volunteered for. She was about 5 years old, says Peta. Jasmine, out. Baby, out. Oh, honey, you're okay. Hey. That would have been the summer after my father died, when I first began feeding my family, when my whole being was occupied with battling starvation. I don't remember those games much, I say. Was that the earthquake year? Yeah. Annie's the only one who went mad when her district partner got beheaded, ran off by herself and hid. But an earthquake, wait a second, hold on. 5 years ago, not 5 years old. I thought they were saying a 5-year-old, 5 years ago. So Annie is the other tribute from 5 years previous. Okay. She won because she was the best swimmer, says Peta. Did she get better after? I ask. I mean, her mind. I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing her at the games again, but she didn't look too stable during the reaping this year, says Peta. So that's who Finnick loves, I think. Not his string of fancy lovers in the capital, but a poor, mad girl back home. Oh, God, heartbreaking. A cannon blast brings us together on the beach, and a hovercraft appears in what we estimate to be the 6 to 7 o'clock zone. We watch as the claw dips down 5 different times to retrieve the pieces of one body torn apart. It's impossible to tell who it was. Whatever happens at 6 o'clock, I never want to know about it. Yeah, no, she definitely wasn't 5. I misread that. No. She was the tribute from 5 years previous, so she had to be at least a teenager 5 years ago, so an adult now, because even if she was 13 when she was a tribute, she'd still be 18 now, which I don't think she is, but still. Sorry, where was I? I never want to know. Peta draws a new map on a leaf, adding a JJ for Jabberjays in the 4 to 5 o'clock section, and simply writing Beast in the one where we saw the tribute collected in pieces. We now have a good idea of what 7 of the hours will bring, and if there's any positive to the Jabberjay attack, it's to let us know where we are on the clock face again. Finnick weaves yet another water basket and a net for fishing, and I take a quick swim and put more ointment on my skin, and then I catch the edge of the water, cleaning the fish Finnick catches and watching the sun drop below the horizon. The moon is already rising, filling the arena with that strange twilight. We're about to settle down to our meal of raw fish when the anthem begins, and the faces. Cashmere, Gloss, Wirus, Mags, the woman from District 5, the morphling who gave her life for Peta, Blight, the man from 10. 8 dead, plus 8 from the first night. 2/3 of us are gone in a day and a half. That must be some kind of record. They're really burning through us, says Joanna. Who's left besides the 5 of us? Just District 2? Asks Finnick. Chafe, says Peta without needing to think about it. Perhaps he's been keeping an eye out for him because of Hamish. A parachute comes down with a pile of bite-sized square-shaped rolls. These are from your district, right, Beatty? Peta asks. Yep, District 3, he says. How many are there? Finnick counts them, turning each one over in his hands before he sets them in a neat configuration. I don't know what it is with Finnick and bread, but he seems obsessed with handling it. 24, he says. And even 24, then, Beatty says. 24 on the nose, says Finnick. How should we divide them? Let's each have 3, and whoever's still alive at breakfast can vote on the rest, says Joanna. And I don't know why this makes me laugh a little. I guess it's because it's true. And when I do, Joanna gives me a look that's almost approving. Not approving, but maybe just slightly pleased. We wait until the giant wave has flooded out of the 10 to 11 o'clock section. We wait for the water to recede, and then we go to that beach to make camp. Theoretically, we should have a full 12 hours of safety from the jungle. There's an unpleasant chorus of clicking, probably some evil type of insect coming from the 11 to 12 o'clock wedge, but whatever it is making a sound that stays within the confines of the jungle, and we keep off that part of the beach in case they're waiting for a carelessly placed footfall to swarm out. I know, sweetheart. I don't know how Joanna's still on her feet. She's only had about an hour of sleep since the game started, and Peta and I volunteered to do the first watch because we're better rested and because we want some time alone. And then the others go out immediately, although Finnick's sleep is restless. Every now and then I hear him murmuring Annie's name. Peta and I sit on the damp sand, facing away from each other, my right shoulder and hip pressed against his, and I watch the water as he watches the jungle, which is better for me since I'm still haunted by the voices of the jabberjays, which unfortunately the insects can't drown out. After a while, I rest my head against his shoulder and I feel his hand caressing my hair. Hey, Katniss, he says softly, it's no use pretending that we don't know what the other one is trying to do. No, I guess there isn't, but it's no fun discussing it either. Well, not for us anyway. The Capitol The Capitol viewers will be glued to their sets so that they don't miss one wretched word from us. I don't know what kind of deal you made with Hamish, but you should know he made me promise as well. Of course, I know this. What? What, honey? What's wrong? What's wrong, baby? What's wrong? I know you're restless and you're tired like Finnick. What's wrong? Yeah. Yeah. Anytime Finn is in the store, the baby's fidgety. Yeah, right? Either she doesn't like him or she knows something. Yeah. It's okay, my sweet angel. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. No, no sad. No sad. No sad. Yeah. No sad. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You can keep sleeping. Yeah, you can. You can keep sleeping. What's wrong, my angel? You want completely out? You want completely out? You want to lay like this so that you can see mommy? You want to lay like this? No, you don't want that. No, you definitely don't want that. Okay, okay. Definitely not that. Definitely not that. Oh my gosh, I couldn't see the otter before. That's so cute, Isabella. Oh, honey. Oh, you can go back to sleep. You want, okay, do we need a little more food? Okay, let's get a little more food. Yeah, mommy will give you a little more food to make you fall back asleep. How's that sound? Well, does that sound good? Well, you have to wait for mommy to get it, huh? Yeah. Oh, no, my sweet angel. It's never fast enough. Never fast enough. It's never fast enough. Yeah. Never ever, huh? Mommy's never fast enough. Okay. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. We're okay. Yeah, it's never fast enough. Well, you have it now, honey. You have it now. Yeah. I sent you a message with my email for the baby razor. Oh, thank you, Alice. That's very sweet of you. Okay, where are we? Where are we? Of course I know this too. He told Peta that they would keep me alive so that he wouldn't be suspicious. So I think we can assume that he was lying to one. Sorry. Okay. Let me go back and reread that so that we. This is what you get for bringing up Finn. I know, right? When the baby cries, it sends a panic through me. You're so calm. Oh, thank you, Jamie. I try to be. I don't want her to feel panicked. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to stay calm. All right. I don't know what kind of deal you think you've made with Hamish, but you should know he made me promise as well. Of course, I know this too. He told Peeta that so that they would keep me alive so that Peeta wouldn't be suspicious. So I think we can fairly assume he's lying to one of us. This gets my attention. It's a double deal, a double promise, with only Hamish knowing which one is real. So I raise my head and I meet Peeta's eyes. Why are you saying this now? Because I don't want you forgetting how different our circumstances are. If you die and I live, there's no life for me at all back in 12. You're my whole life, he says. I would never be happy again. And I start to object, but he puts a finger to my lips. It's different for you. I'm not saying it wouldn't be hard, but there are other people who would make your life worth living. Peeta pulls the chain with the gold disc from around his neck, and he holds it into the moonlight so I can clearly see the mockingjay, and then his thumb slides along the catch I didn't notice before, and the disc pops open. It's not solid as I had thought, but it's a locket, and within it there are photos. On the right side, my mother and Prim laughing, and on the left side is Gale, actually smiling. There's nothing in the world that would break me faster at this moment than these three faces, and after what I heard this afternoon, this is the perfect weapon. Are you drinking too fast? Yeah, a little too fast. Yeah. Your family needs you, Katniss, says Peeta. My family, my mother, my sister, and my pretend cousin, Gale. But Peeta's intention is clear, that Gale really is my family, or maybe will be one day if I live, that I'll marry him. So Peeta's giving me his life and Gale at the same time to let me know that I shouldn't have any doubts about it. Is that all? You just wanted a little snack? He's giving me everything, and that's what Peeta wants me to take from him. I wait for him to mention the baby, to play to the cameras, but he doesn't. And that's how I know that none of this is part of the games, that he is telling me the truth about what he feels. No one really needs me, he says, and there's no self-pity in his voice. It's true that his family doesn't need him. They will mourn him, as will a handful of friends, but they'll get on. Even Hamish, with the help of a lot of white liquor, will get on. I realize the only person who would be damaged beyond repair if Peeta dies is me. I do, I say. I need you. And he looks upset, and he takes a deep breath as if to begin a long argument, but that's no good. No good at all, because he'll start going on about Prim and my mother and everything, and I'll just get confused. So before he can talk, I stop him with a kiss. I feel that thing, the thing that I've only felt once before, in that cave last year when I was trying to get Hamish to send us food. I kissed Peeta about 1,000 times during those games and after, but there was only one kiss that really made me feel something stir deep inside me, only one that made me want more, but my head wound starts to bleed. And then he made me lie down. Oh, it's choppy now? Oh, no. Oh, no. Is it for everybody or just Avery? Okay. I wonder if it's your internet, Avery. Okay, so it's Avery's. Okay, good to know. This time, there's nothing to interrupt us, and after a few attempts, Peeta gives up on talking. The sensation is growing inside me warmer, and it spreads from my chest down through my body, along my arms and legs, to the tip of my being, and instead of satisfying me, the kisses have the opposite effect of making my need greater. I thought I was something of an expert on hunger, but this is entirely a new kind. It's the first crack of the lightning storm, the bolt hitting the tree at midnight that brings us to our senses. It rouses Finnick as well, and he sits up with a sharp cry, and I see his fingers digging into the sand as he reassures himself that whatever nightmare he inhabited wasn't real. I can't sleep anymore, he says. One of you should rest. Only he doesn't seem to notice our expressions in the way that we're wrapped around each other. Or both of you, I guess. I could watch alone. Peeta won't let him, though. No, it's too dangerous. I'm not tired. You lie down, Katniss. And I don't object, because I do need sleep if I'm going to be any use to keeping him alive. And then I let him lead me over to where the others are, and he puts the chain with the locket around my neck, and then he rests his hands over the spot where our baby would be. You're going to make a great mother, you know? He says, and he kisses me one last time, and he goes back to Finnick. His reference to the baby signals our time out from the game is over. He knows that the audience will be wondering why he hasn't used that as the most persuasive argument in his arsenal. The sponsors must be manipulated. But as I stretch out on the sand, I wonder, could it be more? Like a reminder to me that one day I could have kids with Gail? Well, if that was it, it was a mistake, because that, for one thing, is never part of my plan. And for another thing, if only one of us can be a parent, I think it should be PETA. As I drift off, I try to imagine that world somewhere in the future with no games, no capital, and a place like a meadow in a song that I sang to Rue as she died. That's a place where PETA's child could be safe. Sad. Sad, sad. Nom nom nom. Was that so nommy? Was that so nommy? Yeah, was that so nommy? Mommy's gonna have a sip of a drink now. You had yours, now it's Mommy's turn before we read some more, huh? Yeah, I know. It's so sad when the baby hair goes away. I know. It's so sad. It's from the crib, obviously, you know. It's where you can see the line is where she lays her head. I wish there was a way to prevent it, but there's just nothing, I don't think. I don't know. It didn't happen to me when I was a baby, but I had a lot more hair than she has. I had like a full head of hair, so. It is what it is. Oh, there we go. Okay, chapter 25. Yeah, balding baby, exactly, Isabella. Their hair starts to get like weird and then it grows back. Do you want to go in your bouncy? Is that what you're saying, or are you comfy? What would you like, my sweet angel? You want some time in the bouncy? Maybe? You sound like you're sleeping. You sound like you're sleeping and then you keep waking yourself up. You want to go in the bouncy before we read the next chapter? You want a little bouncy time? Look at this outfit. How cute is this outfit, you guys? You're like a little toddler with a pants and a cute flower shirt. Hi. Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. Bouncy, bouncy baby. Bouncy, bouncy baby. Bouncy, bouncy baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, good smile, sweetheart. Please share them, Naisa, if you're allowed to. I mean, privately, of course. Thank you, Anya. That is, yeah, no more talk of hair loss. She gets upset. Okay. Chapter 25. Friends, I think there are only, yeah, there's only 27 chapters, so we're going to finish this tomorrow if we read chapter 25 right now. We have one day. That's enough out there with those sounds, huh? Just about enough. Okay. Chapter 25, page 355. Hi, beautiful. When I wake, I have a brief, delicious feeling of happiness that is somehow connected with PETA. Happiness, of course, that is completely absurd at this point because at the rate things are going, I'll be dead in a day. And that's the best case scenario if I'm able to eliminate the rest of the field, including myself, and get PETA crowned as the winner of the Quarter Quell. Still, the sensation is so unexpected and sweet that I cling to it, even if only for a moment. Before the gritty sand, the hot sun, and my itching skin demand that I be put back to reality. Everyone is already up and watching around the descent of a parachute to the beach, and I join them for another delivery of bread. It's identical to the one we received the night before. 24 rolls from District 3, and that gives us 33 in all. We each take 5, leaving an 8 in reserve. No one says it, but 8 will divide up perfectly after the next death. Somehow, in the light of day, joking about who will be around to eat the next roll has lost its humor. How long can we keep this alliance? I don't think anyone expected the number of tributes to drop so quickly. What if I'm wrong about the others protecting PETA? If the things were so simply coincidental, or maybe it's been a strategy all along to win our trust to make us easy prey, or I don't even know what's actually going on. Wait, there's no ifs about that. I definitely don't know exactly what's going on. And if I don't, it's time for PETA and me to get out of here. To be honest, I want to know why people keep having kids in this world. Truly, yeah. I mean, sometimes I think that about our world too, Jack, though, right? I mean, this is a really interesting point. I think we should talk about that when this chapter is over. Someone remind me when this chapter is over, we should talk about that, because that's interesting. Actually, no, let's just talk about it. There very well may be no birth control, but I will tell you something that Secret Husband said to me the other day when I was like talking about our baby. Exactly. That's exactly right, Ray. If we don't keep making good people, there's no one to fight the good fight. You know what I mean? So like, it's hard, right? Because like, we want more of us, right? I mean, like, it's this weird need to create exactly what Ray's saying, hope, and the people to fight against, you know. Oh no, definitely, Jack, definitely. But beyond the birth control aspect of it all, you could also end up in a Handmaid's Tale situation. Ooh, terrible. 11, that's so many. My grandmother had 10 children, not the one that I'm closest to, my other but like, he was like, because I kept saying, if we had known that this was going to happen again, we might not have had her, because she was very purposeful, right? She wasn't an accident. And we made the choice to have her because we thought that the world was getting better from the stuff that, no, they don't, Tiffany. That's another great point. The people on the other side definitely do not consider themselves wrong or bad, so they have the same thought. They are reproducing at an even wilder rate because they also want to eradicate us. It's wild, right? When you think about it, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure, Jack. And then there's some people who can't have them. Yes, of course. I thought I might be one, to be honest. I mean, to get to my age and not have one, I certainly thought, yes, the reason you see me moving is because I'm bouncing her with my foot. She's in her bouncy, huh? Are you in your bouncer, sweet baby angel? Hi, beautiful girl. And so many past childhood and teens, so they tend to have. Yep, that too. All right, let's keep reading. But she is almost exactly 3 months old, just slightly over. Yeah, slightly over 3 months old. All right, let's keep going. I sit next to Peeta on the sand to eat my rolls, and for some reason it's difficult to look at him. Maybe it was all that kissing last night, although the two of us kissing isn't anything new. It might not have felt any different for him. Maybe it's knowing that for that brief moment of time, knowing how brief the moment of time is that we have left, and how we're working at such cross purposes when it comes to who should survive these games. After we eat, I take his hand and I tug him toward the water. Come on, I'm going to teach you how to swim. I need to get him away from the others so we can discuss breaking away. It'll be tricky, because once they realize we're severing the alliance, we'll be instant targets. If I was really teaching him to swim, I'd make him take off the belts. It's that keeps him afloat. But what does it matter now? So I just teach him the basic stroke, and I let him practice that going back and forth in waist-high water. And at first I noticed Joanna keeping a careful eye on us, but eventually she loses interest and she goes to take a nap. Finnick is weaving a new net out of vines, and Beatty plays with his wire. I know that the time has come. While Pete has been swimming, I've been discovering something. My remaining scabs are starting to peel off, and by gently rubbing a handful of sand up and down my arm, I clean off the rest of the scales, freshly revealing new skin underneath. I stop Peeta's practice on the pretext of showing him how to rid himself of the itchy scabs, and as we scrub ourselves, I bring up our escape. Look, the pool is down to 8. You got muted? Do you mean muted, or do you mean, you definitely weren't muted, Roxy, so you might have, because muting is something that I can see, and it also lasts 24 hours, but maybe you were, what is it called? What's the other thing? Where TikTok like blocks a comment. Filtered, that's the word, filtered. Yeah, filtered is different than muted. Muted lasts for 24 hours. I think it's time that we take off, I say under my breath, although I doubt any of the tributes can hear me. And Peeta nods, and I can see him considering my proposition, weighing if the odds will be in our favor if we do so. I'll tell you what, he says, let's stick around until Brutus and Enobaria are ended. I think Beatty's trying to put together some kind of trap for them now, and then I promise we can go after that. I'm not entirely convinced, but if we leave now, we will have 2 sets of adversaries on us. Maybe 3, because who knows what Chafe is up to. And plus the clock to contend with, and then there's Beatty to think of, and only Joanna brought him for me. So if we leave, surely she'll kill him. And then I remember, I can't protect Beatty too, and then there only has to be one victor in the end, and it has to be Peeta. I must accept this. I must make a decision based on his survival only. Multiple and then rid of the others. I don't know. I can't see the rest. I'm sorry, Roxy. All right, I say. We'll stay until the careers are dead, but that's the end of it. And I turn and I wave to Finnick. Hey, Finnick, come on in. We figured out how to make us pretty again. And the 3 of us all scour our scabs from our bodies, helping with the others' backs, and we come out the same pink as the sky. We apply another round of medicine because the skin seems too delicate for the sunlight, but it doesn't look half as bad on smooth skin as, and it will be good camouflage in the jungle. Beatty calls us over, and it turns out that during all those hours of fiddling with the wire, he's come up with a plan. All right, I think we all agree that our next job is to kill Brutus and Anabaria, he says mildly. I doubt that they'll attack us openly again, now that they're so outnumbered, that we can track them down, I suppose, but it's dangerous and exhausting work. Do you think they've figured out about the clock? If they haven't, they'll figure it out soon enough. Perhaps not specifically as we have, but they must know at least some of the zones are wired for attacks, and they're reoccurring in a circular fashion. Also, the fact that our last fight was cut off by the Game Maker's intervention will not have gone unnoticed by them. We know that it was an attempt to disorient us, but they may be asking themselves why it was done, and this, too, may lead them to the realization that the arena is a clock, says Beatty. So I think our best bet will be setting our own trap. Wait, let me get Joanna up, says Finnick. She'll be rabid if she thinks she missed something this important. Or not, I mutter, as she's always pretty much rabid, but I don't stop him, because I'd be angry myself if I was excluded from a plan at this point. So when she's joined us, Beatty shoots us all back a bit so that he can have room to work in the sand. He swiftly draws a circle, and he divides it into 12 wedges. You don't need to sit like that. It's the arena, not rendered in Peeta's precise brushstrokes, but rough lines of a man whose mind is occupied by other, far more complex things. All right. If you were Brutus and Anabaria, knowing what you do about the jungle, where would you feel the safest? Beatty asks, and there's nothing patronizing in his voice, and yet I can't help thinking that he reminds me of a school teacher about to ease children into a lesson. Perhaps it's the age difference, or simply that Beatty is probably about 1,000,000 times smarter than the rest of us. Where we are now on the beach, says Peeta. It's the safest place. All right, so why aren't they on the beach? Beatty says. It's because we're here, Joanna says impatiently. Exactly. We're here claiming the beach, so then now where would you go? Says Beatty. I think about the deadly jungle, the occupied beach, and I reply, I'd hide at the edge of the jungle so I could escape if an attack came, and also I could spy on us. Also eat, says Finnick. The jungle's full of strange creatures and plants, but by watching us, they know that seafood is safe. Beatty smiles at us as if we've exceeded his expectations. Yes, good. You do see. Now, here's what I propose. A 12 o'clock strike. What happens exactly at noon and exactly at midnight? The lightning bolt hits the tree, I say. Yes. So what I'm suggesting is that after that bolt hits at noon, but before it hits again at midnight, we run my wire around all the trees down into the salt water, which is, of course, highly conductive, and by the bolt strike, the electricity will travel down the wire, and it will not only be into the water, but the surrounding beach, which will still be damp from the 10 o'clock wave. Anyone in contact with those surfaces at that moment will be electrocuted, says Petey. There's a long pause as we all digest Beatty's plan. It seems a bit fantastical to me, impossible even, but why? I've set thousands of snares. Isn't just this the largest snare with more scientific components? Could it work? How could we even question it? We, tributes, trained to gather fish, lumber, and coal. What do we know about harnessing power from the sky? Peeta takes a stab at it. Will that wire really be able to conduct that much power, Beatty? It looks so fragile, like it's just gonna burn up. Oh, it will, but not until some current has passed through it. It'll act like a fuse, in fact, except the electricity will travel along it, says Beatty. How do you know? Says Joanna, clearly not convinced. Because I invented it, says Beatty, as if slightly surprised. It's not actual wire in the usual sense, nor is it lightning, nor is the lightning natural lightning, nor is the tree a real tree. But you know trees better than any of us, Joanna. It would be destroyed by now if it was, wouldn't it? Yes, she says glumly. Don't worry about the wire. It will do just what I say it will, Beatty assures us. And where will we be when all of this happens, asks Finnick. Far enough up into the jungle to be safe, says Beatty. The careers will be safe too then, unless they're in the vicinity of the water, I point out. That's right, says Beatty. But all the seafood will be cooked, says PETA. Probably more than cooked, says Beatty. We will most likely be eliminating that as a food source for good. But you found other edible things in the jungle, right, Katniss? Yes, nuts and rats, I say. And we have sponsors. Well then, I don't see it as a problem, says Beatty. But as we are allies, this will require all of our efforts, and the decision of whether or not to attempt it is up to you four. We are like school children, completely unable to dispute his theory with anything but the most elementary of concerns, most of which don't even have anything to do with his actual plan. And I look at the others' disconcerted faces. All right, why not? I say. If it fails, there's no harm done. If it works, there's a chance that we'll kill them. And even if we don't, and just kill the seafood, Bridison and Abario lose that as a source of food as well. I say we try it, says PETA. Katniss is right. Finnick looks at Joanna and raises his eyebrows. He will not go forward without her. All right, she says finally. It's better than hunting them down in the jungle anyway, and I doubt that they'll figure out it's our plan since we can barely understand the plan ourselves. Beatty wants to inspect the lightning tree before he has to rig it, and judging by the sun, it's about 9 in the morning, and we have to leave our beach soon anyway. And so we break camp and walk over to the beach that borders the lightning section, and we head into the jungle. Beatty is still too weak to hike up the slope on his own, so Finnick and PETA take turns carrying him, and I let Joanna lead because it's pretty much a straight shot up to the tree, and I figure if she can't get us too lost that way. Besides, I can do a lot more damage with a sheath of arrows than she can with 2 axes, so I'm the best one to bring up the rear. The dense, muggy air weighs on me. There's been no break from it since the games began. I wish Hamish would stop sending us all that District 3 bread and get us some of that District 4 stuff before I've sweated buckets in the last 2 days. And even though I've had the fish, I'm craving salt. A piece of ice would be another good idea, or maybe a cold drink of water. I'm grateful for the fluid from the trees, but it's the same temperature as the seawater and the air and the other tributes and me. We're just all one big warm stew. Hi, you want out? You want out? You want back up? You want to come to mommy? You want up to mommy? You trying to get my attention? Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful. You want mommy? Yeah? You want mommy? Ooh. Yeah. You're very wiggly right now. Do you have a diaper that needs changing? Okay. I know. Okay. Yeah, she's growing and we need a diaper change and it's 9:30. Luckily, okay, honey. We're at a spot in the book where the they did mention it. They actually did mention it, Jack. We're at a spot in the book where they're about to start another section. So, okay, I know. I'm going to go and take care of her, and I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll finish the rest of it tomorrow. We'll read the whole rest of the thing tomorrow. All right. I'm going to try to have one later. Yes, Isabella. Bye, guys.